Hello! If you're wondering why I'm making a video about an old piece of Final Fantasy XIV content that no one probably cares about anymore, well, that's because I'm a 2-month-old baby that got thrown into this vast world called Eorzea that still doesn't know left to right, still mess up on simple rotations of my main job, and I'm still trying to make it through Stormblood slowly. So these types of old content I don't think I have access to, for now. And if you're wondering who I am, all you need to know is that my name is Thordan Mages, and I like melon soda. That's it. One day I was just going along with my day playing Final Fantasy XIV without any care in the world, and then I opened up the party finder and saw a group that was looking for players to attempt King Thordan's extreme trial with minimum item level and no echo. Now before coming into this fight, I had already managed to defeat Thordan's extreme trial sync once or twice before. At the time, I knew this was going to be much harder than what I've experienced before, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into, especially when I decided to play Gunbreaker, a tank, in a minimum item level, no echo extreme trial, where Thordan is considered to be one of the hardest if not the hardest extreme trial to date. And I have never done a single minimum item level and no echo instance, not even a dungeon mind you, before coming into this. So yeah, I got absolutely destroyed. For my first time playing this, the team that I managed to end up with was actually full of chill people, and they were very patient with a god-awful new tank like me. So huge thank you to all of the people with the name you see on the screen right now for putting up with my brainless stupidity, because there's one part of this fight that we kept wiping because of me. We'll get to that part soon enough. So for the first phase of this fight, King Thordan is still going easy on the players where most of his attacks are very telegraphed and pretty easy to avoid. Although the price for not avoiding them is usually death, especially if you're not in tank. We'll start with fireballs raining from the sky, and he'll use a huge fan attack that you have to squeeze through the fringes to avoid, or you could just be a lazy fuck like me and just run right at his foot every single time. Afterward, he'll use the power of the dragon's eye to stare at you menacingly until you start running for your mom, so don't look into his eyes. Thordan will then choose Pikachu to use Thunderbolt, remind your team to stick together, and step on your main tank prize to remind how much of a peasant they are for safety measures. Afterward, Thordan will peace out, not before stabbing the sword into the ground because it looks cool, I guess. That would be my guess because the sword doesn't do anything until Thordan comes back from his cigarette break. I mean, it looked cool, so +1 swag point, I guess. 2 knights will spawn, and this is where things start to get heated up. First things first, a few players at random will have tethers linked between them and another player. We have to break them as soon as possible or we risk Thordan's cigarette residue falling on the player's head. Next, 4 towers will appear from the ground and at least one player must volunteer to become the human lightning rod in each of these 4 towers. Or one knight will brand our entire party as dumb fucks with a paralysis enfeeblement. We don't want that. One of the knights will remain on the field to do a party-wide damage that will one-shot our entire party if we don't bring him down to at least 50% of his health. We're going to see the similar things a few more times. In the meantime, there's also a limit break gauge that is slowly ticking up as we speak. I'll get back to this later. 3 knights would have already spawned outside the map looking to push your entire party to the edge of the map because you already know why, so we would dodge them. Barely. Next, another pair of knights will spawn, and this is where the tank plays a huge role in getting the team through this part. And this is the part where my stupidity got the team wiped many times. There were a couple of times that we managed to get through this part, but let's pretend they never happened for the sake of storytelling. Let me explain step by step what happens in this part. When the pair of knights spawns, they will form a tether to each other when they are too close. The 2 tanks must keep them apart because when the 2 knights cast Divine Right, one of them will gain a sword buff that increases damage and the other will get a shield buff that increases defense. The tether will make them share their buffs, so we don't want that. And this is where my stupidity came into play. The thing is, which knight will get which buff is completely random and you just have to look at which buff they have on the spot. And I didn't know about this fact. despite having defeated this fight a couple of times before, synced. So I ended up mistiming my invulnerability skill when the two knights do their limit break attack over and over and over again, to the point that it took us over one full lockout for me to finally get it. Yes, my team has told me about it, and I'm still too brain dead to understand it in a timely manner. Yes, there has been times that we have wiped because too many of our DPS or healers died to the 3 knight that appeared to do 3 large AoE skyward leap attacks, but most of it was because of me. So again, huge thanks to the people that were in the team for being patient and allowing a dumb fuck like me to learn. And that was the end of my first attempt at Thordan's extreme minimum item level with no echo, because some people in the team had to go to sleep or do other things like normal human beings would. However, I'm just too stubborn to let it go. And at that point, I decided that I will defeat Thordan Extreme Trial with minimum item level and no echo, regardless of how long it will take. And it took quite a bit of time. So from this point on, all the attempts will be on my main melee DPS class, which is Ninja. Now, I've been playing Ninja for way longer than I've been playing Gunbreaker. It's a class I've spent most of my time playing from almost the very start to where I am now. I know my Ninja level 60 rotation very well. I can do flips with this class. Look at that flip, that was beautiful. 10 out of 10. This is gonna be easy. The other day I was the bitch, but today Thordan will be the bigger bitch. You can bet $50 that Thordan is going to suck my... Our party finder leader didn't even know that just because you put minimum item level and no echo in a party finder, you still had to manually select them in a duty finder menu. For some reason, the DPS kept pulling Thordan prematurely, including my little oopsies. We never got past the first night phase, and our red mages decided to peace out, and then the party got disbanded. Great runs were had that day. While I was making this video, I've also been watching other popular Final Fantasy XIV content creators to take inspiration for this video. And one of the things I noticed how it seems like almost, if not all, Final Fantasy XIV content creators seems to like to have their in-game characters staring to the camera like this. Maybe it's a social paradigm or a custom it needs to be followed by every content creator. I'm not quite sure. But I can still do that as well, and not just having one character model in front of the camera, but boom! 2 character models staring at the camera. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I am a VTuber, which means I am a VTubing model that was totally originally made and designed by yours truly. And I certainly did not buy this model off of Booth, or as well as any of the costumes or accessories. Most content creators can only zoom in on their character model. Well, I can zoom in, not just 1, but 2 at the same time, which absolutely means the visual offers on the screen are already superior to other Final Fantasy XIV content creators, as well as having double the power to violate my viewers with double the stares. And if you're wondering, wow, that is amazing. That is revolutionary. Where can I see more of this 2 character model dual wielding action? Don't worry, I got you covered. You can come to my stream to watch this anime high school girl with a voice changer of a 30-year-old salary man at twitch.tv/OrionMages, where I stream almost every day at around this time, which is a pretty fuck you time for those of you living in America, but time zones do be like that, so sucks. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go and not spend $15 on a new FF14 seasonal Halloween costume, but $30 on a new seasonal outfit for my VTubing avatar. 2 weeks have passed since my last feeble attempt at this challenge. I was busy with real life, so I didn't have that much time to play. However, I managed to find another team, and this time they invited me to join the Discord call for better communications and call out. I figured, sure, why not? And it turned out it wasn't such a bad idea. The team was a good team with the leader making callouts and mechanics with a solid plan on how to approach every phase of the fight. There are times where unfortunate things happen because people are a little bit confused about what to do in the situation, but we learned quickly and we were progressing at a decent pace. And we were getting through the 2 nights part consistently as well, without me as a tank. However, after we got through the part where we defeated 2 knights is the part where most team would fail to break through. We had to go back to standing in the middle of the room because 4 knights will spawn again. Black puddles start to form under our feet. People will get tethered in pairs again, so they will have to split up in pairs to break them. 4 random people will have ice AoE attacks that explodes and leave an icy puddle that persists for a little while at their feet, so they have to make sure nobody else gets caught in it. Immediately after spreading out, the party has to run back to the center because another huge knockback will be coming. But the players must also orientate themselves so that when they get knocked back, they don't step into the icy puddles that were left behind earlier, because that's also a guaranteed death. And if you think, oh, that's confusing and hard, that's still the easy bit. Because this next part was the real deal. The party wiper. At this point, 8 meteors will spawn around the outer edges of the arena with another 1 giant one at the center. If the small meteors touch the ground, it will deal huge damage to the party. If the giant one touches, it's an instant wipe. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's another DPS check. So we had to destroy these landing nodes as soon as possible, all the while dodging Trump's magnificent dream that was conjured up by a knight and Thordan's dropping even more cigarette residue on our head. I swear to God, Thordan, it wasn't us that killed you, but it was lung cancer. With how hectic and strapped on time this part is, it's no surprise why many teams have so much trouble getting through this part. Fortunately, we still managed to get through this part.
Probably just LD, probably. DPS LD, I would say. Just make sure you see this. Okay.
Sometimes. Okay, one thing you can do here is that it's okay to destroy only 7 of the 8 meteor markers, given that everyone in the party has at least 75% HP, so your party will have more time to destroy the giant one. After the meteor phase, Thordan will finally come back from getting milk and cigarettes from 7-Eleven to actually continue his job as a trials boss. Thordan and his knight will then surround you as they slightly nudge you backwards several times, and you just gotta run forward to counter this. I have no idea why we're doing this. I tried looking up information about this on the wiki. However, even then it didn't say anything in particular, so I'm just doing this because of mob mentality. I mean, hey, whatever gets me that win, I guess. Anyway, do you still remember that limit break bar I was talking about quite a while ago? After Thordan decides he is pushed us around enough times, he will perform this ultimate attack and the damage is based on how much the limit break gauge has already filled up. That's right. All the DPS check that we've done so far, the first knight DPS check, the pair of knights DPS check, the meteor DPS check, were all just set of smaller DPS checks inside a giant DPS check. No wonder why people hate this fight. Or if you're wondering how much of a limit break bar had to fill up to be dangerous, take a look at this clip with 74% filled.
Ryan live with 50 health.
With Thordan decide to break the space-time continuum, the fight gets really, really hectic. Like, what the fuck is this type of hectic? After you fight Thordan for a little while, 3 knights will appear targeting 1 healer, stunning them and throwing a spear that will guarantee to one-shot the healer. Everyone that isn't the main tank must cover for the target healer, with the off-tank standing in front to make sure that no one dies, because that's also a wipe if anyone that isn't the healer died. From this point on, it's all just mechanic spam where Thordan and his knight are just trying their goddamn best to keep us from winning. So I'm not gonna go too deep into how to handle them, because this isn't meant to be a guide video, but it's already halfway there with all the information I'm cramming into this video. Thordan will stare menacingly again, and it's not just him this time, but also a giant eye outside the arena as well. So make sure to avoid the gaze of your parents when they have found out you have your Stolas body pillow. At least 4 players must sacrifice themselves again to become human lightning rods, and another knight came in to show his undying support for the wall. Immediately after, Black Puddles came back with a knight being a giant douche trying to knock us back when there's a stack marker. Do you think there's already enough stack markers? Abso-fucking-lutely not. How about another stack marker with 2 people being marked for AoE attack? There's almost no time to breathe. As soon as we think that we have time to deal damage to Thordan, another mechanic would have already introduced itself. And I have to say that this team fought well. With this ragtag team, we managed to bring Thordan HP down to 35% HP on our best run. We came quite close, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, at least we had fun, so it wasn't all bad. But my journey still hasn't ended. Another day, another attempt at this challenge, and a new team. I didn't know what my luck is made of, but the team that I managed to find myself in this time, in Party Finder again, turned out to be the best party I've had since the start of this journey. Just to summarize things quickly, the team knows to fight pretty damn well. Any hiccups on the mechanics are usually fixed within 1 or 2 pulls. Almost every DPS check we've done, we were completed very quickly. At the time, I thought to myself, this could be it. This could be the team. So I'm going to skip ahead to where I last left off with the previous team because this video is already too long just talking about one noob's journey to beat this one fight. We had to gather behind Thordan because red taverns and icy puddles came back on top of Thordan styling on us with a fan attack from the beginning of this trial. 4 more knights will spawn, 3 will do skyleap attacks, and 1 will remain as another DPS check. How many fucking DPS check do you need? Holy shit! Luckily, that's all the mechanics that this fight has to offer. Thank fucking God. However, that doesn't mean we have time to just twiddle our thumbs and do whatever we want. Because according to the wiki, if we leave the fight to continue on, after the final attack, Thordan will become hard enraged and just wipe the whole party automatically anyway. So basically the entire trial itself is a DPS check. He just can't fucking win. Like, he just can't fucking win. Like, he just does whatever the fuck he wants. Like, what the fuck? You know, having made it through the final phase and then wipe, spending more than 2 hours and a half on this one single fight, which is basically more than 2 lockouts, tired, beaten, the team spirit is still going strong. Even after this many hours, strategy discussions are still being had. And one teammate even said in chat, "This is the winning team." And I replied, "This is the run." Yes. GG. Fuck. Fuck yes. Woo! Did it, boys. So, thank you everyone who watched until the very end of this video. It has been a pleasure to make this video, and it is something that I have never done before. This is the very first time I've decided I'm gonna make a essay video with this long form editing and everything. So I don't even know whether I'm actually doing right thing or not, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the script writing a lot. I enjoyed doing the voice recording a lot. I definitely did not enjoy editing this video, but at the very least, the last few minutes of this video, I at least enjoyed it because I think it was something that is quite fun and not so mundane. And if you like what you're watching here, maybe just leave a like, leave a comment, share with your friends. It would mean a world to me. And if you want to see more of me, you can find me at twitch.tv/urmages. I stream there pretty much every day, well, almost every day, at the following time on the screen right now. And that's about it. Like, there's nothing else for me to say. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully, I can come back and then make this kind of storytelling video once again once I have more stories to tell. I'm not sure, but I am looking forward to those days. So, see you people. Have fun in Final Fantasy XIV.